So we're 2 foot deep at the clean out in the front storage room with the water softener. I'm going to go a little farther and see how long the cast iron line is. So we've got a total of 45 feet of 4-inch cast, and it goes to 6-inch clay. Got a lot of debris in here. $102 feet out.
All right.
With roots all the way out.
Okay.
My recommendation would be to line it.
Okay.
Because even right here,
Yeah.
you got roots.
Okay. Yep.
Right there. You've got pretty good scale buildup in the cast under the house.
Yeah.
You might get away with just doing, see with me pushing this camera through, it's making a trail.
Okay.
So all this right here is
Yeah.
keeping it from draining.
Okay.
I don't know what this is. It almost looks like a stick or something laying there.
Hmm.
With some toilet paper or something. If you look here, it looks rounded on the end. So when we go to shoot a liner, we would have to open the floor up in that room
All right.
and shoot the liner all the way out.
Okay.
You could open it here, but it would be a nightmare.
Okay. All right.
So what we would do is open the floor there,
Okay.
shoot a liner out, descale upstream,
Okay.
and hopefully the pipe is in good enough shape to where the cast iron doesn't need to be lined.
Okay.
Once I pull it back, I can show you the condition of the cast. Hopefully there's nothing hiding in these spots that are holding water. I didn't really see any cracks or anything,
Okay.
but
Good.
you don't know. Like this is a long, that's that one I was showing you. It's a long root ball
Yeah.
where it's trying to grow towards the water at the main. It's pretty much every joint. This one being your worst.
Okay.
So this is pretty bad roots there. The way when we jet, we charge $9.95 to jet.
Okay.
If you do the liner, then we take the $9.95 off of that.
Okay.
The liner's $155 a foot. You're 2 foot deep there, so there's no cost for excavation. So you know right off the bat. A lot of companies will tell you they're taking $9.95 off, and then or whatever their jetter price is, and then they
Yeah.
hide it back into the price.
Okay.
We tell you up front it's
Okay.
$155 a foot. You're really close to backing up again.
All right.
I mean, you can obviously see there
Yeah.
that root ball's holding. There's a lot of debris.
Okay.
So the jetting's $9.95. That covers the first 2 hours. If there's some kind of nail or something, so there's your transition from cast to clay.
Okay.
So it goes from 4-inch cast, 6-inch clay. And then it's $300 an hour after that.
Okay.
Majority of the time, you can get it under the 2 hours. So if it ends up being 3 hours, then it's like $12.95, but that is taken off of the price of the liner.
Okay.
Here the scale isn't bad. You've got some high spots there that are causing it to hold water.
Yeah.
You can see scale there. So you could possibly get away with just a light descale. And the reason I say to descale it, like you can see here, is with the newer 1.6 gallon toilets, it tends to leave the toilet paper, so the scale will catch the toilet paper.
Okay.
If we do, now here this is a little worrisome. That's a little thinned out, so that's a lower spot there. I could, when you do a descale, you have the potential of revealing rot. If it reveals rot in the cast iron, then you would want to do a liner in the cast iron at that point. If you just do a light descale, it may not reveal rot. And what you would do is you would just knock off the high points to try and keep toilet paper and stuff from catching. So what happens is that 1.6 gallon tanks, a lot of times it's only flushing half of that water in the tank, so it'll end up leaving the waste and the paper lay there.
Okay.
And then the paper starts to dry. This here is not horrible scale, a quick, something like that little spot there, that could be a thinned out area or a rot. It's more back here where you have the heavier scale build up once you get into this. So you got a Y there. And then, so that's over there somewhere. I'll end up marking that. But you got another, you come up here, you got another Y by that floor drain. You got a drop there on the right. So, is there a bathroom in here?
Yeah.
So there's probably a toilet in there.
Yeah.
But here you're getting into heavier scale.
Okay. Yeah.
You got a lot of stuff laying there. What's scary is that looks like gravel.
Okay.
If you see them chunks. That pipe could be rotted. See all that gravel? That pipe's rotted somewhere. It's just a matter of where. It may be that floor drain is rotted out, and when you get enough water in there, it's pushing it out.
Okay.
It's kind of concerning with that much rock in there. I don't have a small camera to put. So this is your Y or your T. Looks like a Y for that floor drain. So that floor drain, especially if somebody's tried to auger through that, you can actually see a piece of gravel here.
Yeah.
You can't auger through a line that has a trap in it, or you end up eating the bottom out of that.
Okay.
But this is full of gravel here.
Yeah.
So somewhere, something's allowing gravel in.
Okay.
Unless, so there's another tie in here. That might be the toilet there. Let me pause this. I'm going to flush that toilet. So this tie-in is going to be an outside area drain at the bottom of the steps. 1 foot 2 deep. I'd be curious where that gravel is coming from, because usually, the farther back your gravel is, that's leading you to where it's coming in, because you'd have to have a lot of force. If it was, let's say it was broke underneath that wall,
Yeah.
and gravel's coming in there, it usually won't push it back this way because your flow's going that way.
Okay.
So that area drain, that floor drain, may be rotted out. Without a small camera, there's no way to know. The good thing about descaling, if we're doing a lining,
Yeah.
as long as we don't have to open up any more spots, then the descaling is only like $1,800. If you're just doing the descale by itself, then it's like $5,800 to $6,500.
Okay.
So it's a good bit cheaper to do the descale if you're doing the lining.
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, I'll figure roughly 100-foot liner, and then the descale. It needs to be jetted as soon as possible.
Okay.
But like I say, the jetting will come off, whether it's $9.95 or ends up being $12.95 or whatever. The descaling would need to be done as well.
Okay.
Just as a light, what I would do is start with a light descale, just to knock down the highs until we can figure out what's going on there.